Yeah, this would be an awesome converted to a rail trail. It just needs trimmed, right? This is awesome. And down the road we go. Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to go see what $1 million got you. There's a project down here. There's $1 million+ spent, as I understand it. Doing improvements and an extension of the rails to trails system in the area. So I want to go check that out. I'm used to crossing the bridge down there. Here we're turning in at near the River Forest Country Club. What are you whining about? You settle down, girl. We're just across the river from Freeport, Pennsylvania. Little community down over the hill here is called River Forest. You know what? There's some big money down in that neighborhood. There's some beautiful homes. It's a small area, but yeah, the country club is here, and it's a pretty well-to-do little community. But they extended the rail trail down here. Spent a lot of money doing it. So we're gonna go check that out. There's a major structure up the trail a little ways, which the majority of the money was spent on. Oh, well, there's lower parking, but I kind of like this upper parking up here. Let's do this. All right, much more level. You know something's up, don't you? But there's a problem. Come here, girl. Come here. We'll go out for a little bit, but the problem is you don't get to go. I know that's sad. I do have the e-bike on the back. We're going to be taking the e-bike, and before anybody says it, go ahead, you can go out. Come on, outside. You want to go out and go pee? Because you're going to be here for a little, not too long. Okay, this isn't going to take us forever. I'm going to top off our bowl with some nice cool water. I'm going to get another one. All right, yeah, nice bowl of cool water. Now, before you say it, because it's been said in the past, I should train Bella to run beside the bike. I've seen plenty of people doing that. You know what? That's just not practical for us. There's risk involved with that, doing that. I think some breeds of dog are better suited to do that than others. And maybe that goes for some of the pet dog owners too. And to train her to do that, maybe it's doable, but there's risk of injury, getting crossed up with the leash and the wheels, and all it takes is one misstep, and we could both be injured. And we're just not going to do that. I don't leave her behind very often. It's okay to do it once in a while, right? So I do have the e-bike. I'm going to get it unloaded, and we are going to head down. Which way will we go first? We are underneath the Freeport Bridge. Here's where the community kind of ends. That's the River Forest area down there. The rail trails are, we'll get to it, but they're done in sections in different communities, and then they try to interconnect them, and we'll get into that here after a bit. Before we go, I'll just say, for Bella's comfort, the rear air conditioner, I did plug it into the inverter, so for her comfort, the air conditioner can run while we're gone. I have a fully charged 200 ampere time battery. So doing the math on how many watts that has available, how many watts that draws, we could probably run the air conditioner easily, even on full blast, easily 3.5 to 4 hours on that battery. So I'm just gonna put it on medium or so we should be able to run even a little bit longer than that. But I only plan to be gone maybe 1 hour, probably. So, okay, locked. I should put the windshield shade on it too, huh? It's morning hours, and well, we're pretty shaded, and the sun goes across this way too, so all that shades, we're gonna be okay for a while. All right, we're all unloaded. Might be a good idea to grab one of them waters for myself too, wouldn't it? The air conditioner's on, so hopefully. The other thing about putting that, putting that windshield cover on while we're gone, Yeah, two things, okay? A little bit of sun, okay? It helped keep the van cooler, but it's not gonna be a problem. It's just not, it's early enough in the day with the air on. That's not so much of the issue. You know how people can be, some rightly so. But sometimes, you know, some people, they see a dog left in a vehicle, they think, oh no, it must be hot and all that. And there are some cases where there should be some intervention, but you never know. Hopefully if somebody walked by and said, would notice that the air conditioner is running, that she's probably very, very comfortable in it. Matter of fact, she'll probably go back in the bed, take a little nap while I'm gone. She'll be fine. I don't know if you can see, surely the Allegheny River's down there. So Freeport's on that side of the Allegheny River. We're on the opposite side. There used to be railroad tracks that ran, well, there's still railroad tracks that run on that side of the river, but you know, there used to be so much rail traffic, demand for rail traffic, that there was also railroad tracks that ran on this side of the river. So that's been converted into a rail trail now. And let's get going. All right, here's where the rail trail used to end at, where these where those pipes are in the ground. Of course, those are to keep people from driving on it too. That, especially the center one, right? It used to just go through this area, and from here forward was not improved. So from here up is the recent addition and improvements made, and there is a big railroad bridge up there that just had to been the majority of all that money was spent on. So we're gonna head up in that direction. I forgot this bike has squeaky brakes. Yeah, this was all recently done from here up. So I think it was just this past fall and winter. This section's called the Tredway Trail of Allegheny Township. Yeah, oh, funding. What about funding? How'd you get, that's a lot of money to come up with. Funding and assistance has been provided by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Bureau of Recreation and Conservation, Keystone Recreation, Park and Conservation Fund. You know, this whole Rails to Trail system, I mean, it's all across the country. And to me, it's a wonderful thing. It's, I mean, what a great way to utilize old railroads that are no longer, there's no longer a demand for. So there's a little view of Freeport over there. Can't see a whole lot because the things are just so thick this time of year. It's over in there. Okay. So, and there's an old bridge where, well, it's still currently in use. It's just been a long damn time. The current active line runs on. That goes up and continues on that side of the river. And actually, there's a section I think there that they did away with that goes up and goes across another railroad bridge. So we'll get up to that area and check that all out. Now this is weird. It said, I thought, what the heck? Let's put it in Google Maps, right? It's weird because it routes us. I guess it's new enough. It doesn't. It's a new enough trail. It just doesn't show up as a possible route to get up there. It has us crossing the Freeport or the Allegheny River over to Freeport, up through town, and then walking across the other railroad bridge. So that is not. So it's not 2.5 miles. Sorry, it's probably maybe 2. It's just whatever. Anyway, I know where we're going. Let's go. Okay, the laws are, at least in this area, this part of Pennsylvania, I think laws change, like if you get into a really congested, let's say some of the rail trails that run through like major cities, and there's just a lot of pedestrians, people walking, and people go flying by on their e-bikes in a dangerous manner, just too fast. Yeah, I think laws become more stringent whenever it comes to rail trail laws. You know, out in this part of, at least out in this area, any sign that I've seen does allow e-bikes, but the speed limit is 20 miles an hour. A lot of e-bikes, that's their max. They'll only go 20 miles an hour. I have mine kind of, you know what, I don't need to go, you know, well, I could. Sometimes there's a section, nobody's around at all. I bump it up a little bit. My bike will do 30, and yeah, just for some adrenaline. We have a wide open stretch here. There's nobody. It really comes down to using your head a little bit. Common sense. You're coming up on a group of people. I'd probably even you know, at 10, 12 miles an hour, just kind of cruise by carefully. And then once you're past them, maybe bump it up a little bit, but still 20 miles an hour. That's more than fast enough for me. Like I say, once in a while I'll cheat and bump it up a little bit, but not for very long. Just don't need to cruise like I'm racing somewhere. Well, this is kind of odd. We're up here about a quarter mile, and I don't know what they had in mind here. Obviously, look at the chalk all over it. I mean, chalk comes off pretty easy, but it's just, somebody's just written I think it's just chalk all over here. And marker. I mean, what's up with people anyway? Yeah, I don't know. But it looks like it's a chalk board. And, well, I don't know what the idea was of, it's just chalk. Of putting a chalkboard here. Usually there'd be like a map and maybe the rules and stuff. It seems like it would make better sense to, why a chalkboard? And why leave chalk for people to, I don't know. But look, what's this? Somebody left behind. Looks like a pretty dang nice flashlight. It's got some weight to it for all the bigger it is. Huh. Well, I don't know how long it's been here. Looks like it's one of them nice heavy-duty waterproof ones. I don't know how to turn it off. Oh, there it goes. It has different modes. I think maybe I just found myself a new adjustable lens thing. Never know what you find along the trails. Should I just leave it here? And hopefully somebody come back looking for it? I don't know. Maybe. I don't need it. I have decent flashlights anyway. So, let's continue. Nope, still no good vantage point yet. There's got to be an opening somewhere. Should be a nice view of the town over there, of Freeport. Now that would be nice. That'd be an idea for the park. Oh, look, a bird feeder or a nesting box. Okay. It'd be nice if like cleared an area, put some benches in, and just so you had a nice view of the river, watch the boating activity. I don't know if you can see that, but there are some nice docks over across the other side of the river. I don't know what's going on here. There's a path that goes down through the woods. It's well mowed, and it goes quite a ways down in there. And I think I seen from the aerial view that there's a whole series of paths that go down there. There used to be an old rail yard down there, and coal mines and everything. It used to be a real industrial area. But man, this old the rail thing, and this railroad, this was taken out decades ago, probably in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. So this was overgrown for a long time. But when this was still just kind of a service path, they kept like, I don't know, maybe so railroad, service maintenance crews could come up to service this area up here, because the Junction is up here. Back then, I mean, I have rode my motorcycle up here, and people would ride quads, and it was just kind of an unregulated area. This was all overgrown, and there was a couple of like dirt bike trails and stuff, but I don't know what the reason is. It looks like since they improved the trail, maybe they're doing something different down in here. It'd be nice to put a camping area. That would be cool. Some rail trails have those camping areas, for cyclists, or whether you want to walk or you're riding your bike. This bike has I didn't put it back on, but it has a larger rear rack too. I could load it up with a tent and some food, and go ride to some of those campgrounds or camping spots that are along these trails. I don't know of any in the immediate area, but I ran into them in the middle of the state, and on the eastern part of the state there are those rail trail campgrounds. This surface is really nice. I don't know how much. Oh, there's more. See? I wonder what the reason of all that is. That's a huge flat area. We've kind of wandered off a little bit. Well, I should say the railroad originally kind of wandered off a little bit away from the river. So there's a big, like that rail yard. Oh, you know what? I wonder if there's any good views down there. Oh, here's what it was. Maybe it was oil. The Lasesco Oil Company. Wow. Well, they are talking about canal coal. So between coal and oil, I wonder if you can, maybe I get a shot of this if you want to try to pause and read some of this. It's pretty interesting. Oh, it's canal. Canal. I don't know how to pronounce that with two N's. Oil refined from bituminous coal, which burns bright like a candle. That's canal oil, coal and canal oil. I don't know. Oh, look. Check this out. An illustration by Susan Crawford from Apollo, PA. I wonder where this was. In 1917, the railroad company raised the tracks to match the elevation of those in Freeport, and this tunnel became buried as a result. What? Oh, it is underground directly in front of where you are standing. Wow. So that is kind of a lower area down there. Or maybe they did. Maybe they put a bunch of fill in here to build that whole rail yard. I don't know. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Oh, these still exist. You can't see, I guess, you know, we're like back in behind them, and the trail runs back behind here. These face the river out there. So I know from the Freeport side of the river, you can look over here and plainly see the face of these. This may have been like a loading barges in the river, loading coal and oil, whatever, into barges. Yeah, those still exist. And there's this one plant. Locals call this like the hanging plant thing. It's weird. That one vine always grows down there. Still does. All right. So, Lasesco Oil, for sale, Lasesco Oil Works. Yeah, so, you know, pretty interesting stuff. I'm glad they put that there. That's, I might have to review that. I might have to pause this video myself, pause that clip and read more of that. A little bit of a long read, right? All right. Yeah, this seems, you know what, that whole rail yard area down there, you know, rail yard, that takes up a lot of, you know, a few acres for sure. Wouldn't that be interesting? And it's a flat area between the rail trail and the river. Wouldn't that be nice to have like a riverfront? Seems like an ideal area to put a campground down there. Road access might be the problem with that though, because it's not real friendly up at this end, up in this area here too. We'll see when we get up here. A couple of markers along here. I don't know what that's sometimes they're mile markers or whistle stops, or you know, if the train's coming up to a crossing or something, it just alerts the train, the engineer, when to start laying on the whistle if you're getting close to an intersection. There's those kind of things. Yeah, I don't know what they have in mind with all that. There's another birdhouse, or I'm sorry, what do you call it? You know what I mean. All right, this is pretty new in the making. Looks like just the resting area. Yeah, they're making this kind of like a park, a little park area. We got trees planted, another information board, another bench to sit at. I don't know if you're really technically supposed to go past this point. I think we can. I think they have a temporary workaround that they have bigger plans later. Somebody's been in here. What did they do? Somebody's been doing kind of a burnout here. What'd they do? Come down from that side and said, "The heck on you, we're going to come around and go down." Actually, that might have been from equipment, from making improvements. They have a way to get around and work on the trail. So that might be all that is. Oh, here's an old foundation up here. Let's see what this is. Oh. The Junction story. Story. You know what? I can remember when this tower was still standing. Yeah, back when I was a younger fella. I don't remember any of these buildings. And I don't remember this. What's up with this? Junction sign on it. Comes to an end. That was probably long gone. And I used to come down here, I don't know, when I was pretty young, in the late 70s, early 80s. And I don't remember any of this. I only remember that was still standing for a while. This was a happening place with the old wagons here. And this had to have been a loading thing. I brought stuff up and somehow, you know, I don't know what's going on there exactly. So here's where we are. Here's Kiskiminetas Junction. And the railroad used to come up here. And straight across the Kiskiminetas River. That's that bridge that was supposed to be improved. We're almost there. And it continued up through Shenley, Pennsylvania, on up this side of the river. This is the Allegheny River. This is where the Kiskiminetas River dumps into the Allegheny. Across the river is Freeport. So the one train tracks went up that side. It could also cross. This is the part that's still the active line. It comes up through Freeport and across this bridge and on up along the Kiskiminetas. This is still active. So that's the issue, is getting across. You know, this is the proposed rail trail. It's been continuously improved and sections added. The trick is getting across that active line, and that's what we're running into now. Can I do, for those of you that like to read this, let's see, is that everything in the picture? Is that going to work? You can pause again. Do I have all of it? Somewhere there I do. Just got to pause at the right time. All right. Yeah, I'm going to read up on this a little bit later too. Huh. How interesting it would be to have a time travel back into, you know, just for an afternoon or something. Go check out all the goings on. All right, and there's a foundation here. I don't know what this big foundation was. Maybe, who knows? Who knows? But there's a round thing here. Well, that'd make a good fire pit, wouldn't it? Maybe that was a well, you know, with a hand pump. Well, look at all this. Wow, I never knew this was here. This had to have been like this had to be this, and I've seen, it's like a big cross. There's all these, it goes out and then back in. And then you have a long section, and then it kind of comes out here, out at the top, and then out on the other side. Looks like a big cross. I've seen old railroad stations kind of designed with that shape, but then out here it looks like it would be, might have been like a flower bed, maybe another flower bed, maybe some benches to sit and wait on the train. This is really interesting. I never knew this was here. You know, brick sidewalks all around. I'm sure there's probably an entranceway here into the building, and the exact same thing. It's you know, mirrored over to that side. Same thing. How cool is this? Huh. Never knew this was here. Okay, so here, over there in the weeds, on the other side of the weeds is the active railroad. Pretty sure that's it. And there's a big bridge way on down there. Huh. So this must have been like where you boarded. You boarded the train. It it's probably has, you know, a deck, or what would you call it, a platform, where you go and you know, get on the train and go for a train ride. So how interesting. So we're going around the other side of the building. Oh, so, and this makes sense too, that this looks like a road that might have came up where you would, maybe you'd arrive and horse and in your buggy, okay? And maybe bring your luggage and stuff and come into the lobby and get your tickets or whatever, and maybe depart out that side and go down out to get on the train. Kind of makes sense to me. I think that's what went on here. What a interesting, well, we'll call it an artifact, right? All right, let's go back out to the trail. Or I wonder if you could board different trains too, because this is where that crossroads is. There's the active line that goes that way, and then there's the rail trail that goes this way. So maybe you could, you know, there's a junction. Okay, Kiskiminetas Junction, right? That's what it was called here. So let's go back out here. Actually, I think I find that more interesting than than the bridge up here that was improved for. Like I say, it was like $1 million project, I think, for the bridge alone, I believe. So it's straight ahead here, and I think the plan is to build a, walking, biking bridge, probably starting from back here somewhere, that gently ramps up, goes over the railroad and down the other side. So this just remains a straight thoroughfare going, just so the trail continues in a straight way. So I think they have a bridge plan to go over that active line that runs right here. But the temporary work through is, work around. Oh boy, this needs improved. Hopefully it's only a short. Let's go up here a little bit. And here's like the only road down to this area. And I remember back when this was a regular maintained road. It's pretty 2 lanes. It's pretty overgrown now. It might be a narrow 2 lanes, but 2 lanes nonetheless. There was room to pass each other anyway, at least that much. But yeah, came down here. So there's a regular crossing down here. So technically, legally, where there's a road crossing, it is legal for pedestrians, bikes, whatever. Regular traffic. So since railroad crossing, it is a designated. Otherwise, it's a no-no to cross anywhere else. I guess it would be considered trespassing on railroad property. Ooh, boy, looks like this could use some work. This crossing's getting a little rough. But all right. So how are we gonna do this? And here's an area I didn't know about until I talked to my buddy the other day. That this continued on up, and there was more railroad station type stuff, or businesses or shops. But I think the temporary workaround, and hopefully, yeah, even if this is temporary, just a section from over there to over here. They could throw down some of that loose, or that little gravel, and it's you know what, that's gonna be a big project in its own, is building that thing across there. That may take a while before all the funding and plans are all in effect. Oh, man, if we can't, you know what, if we can't get across here, oh wow. Well, you know what? I keep saying, you know what? There are definitely plans in the work, because they wouldn't have spent all the money to come right up to here just for it to dead end. So there has to be plans to continue on. Otherwise, why not just don't spend all that money on the bridge, just dead end it, just come to a dead end on the other side of the bridge. Why would you spend $1 million on that bridge to get across the river if you wasn't going to continue on? So all right. This used to, okay, so it's a 2-way split. It used to be a 3-way split. All right, hang on here. If you notice the crossroads in that map I showed you, this did originally, decades ago, go straight through. Well, when they took out that section, when they figured, okay, we could just use that other line on the other side of the river and come across that bridge. We didn't look down there to see that other bridge that comes across the river, but that would come across the river and could curve up this way. Okay, there's that big curve. Or if there were trains coming down this way, you could go up along the Kiskiminetas River or down across the Allegheny. But so at some point they took out the and this was active for years beyond what that straight through on this side of the river was. Okay, follow me? It's all right, so I'm pretty long-winded there. I'm gonna take a minute and breathe. So now there's a sign up here that says private property. Well, this bridge is a little bit higher than I remember. Yeah. Oh, and there's campsites over there. Those are more permanent campgrounds. So I don't know why. Maybe for just public safety's sake, it says, wait, private property, no trespassing. Well, it's only private property. It's a public. It's gonna be. maybe technically this little section is, because they haven't finished this. So that's why it cost $1 million. Okay, was they had to rip up the old tracks. Okay, they had to, I think they even ripped out all the old the railroad ties that goes across, and they put a new solid base on there with rebar and everything, and then concreted it, and that's what you see up here. Now this is the only place, I think, if I'm trespassing, it's only going to be from here to there. Once I'm on that, that's a public, it's open to the, so we're going to trespass for like 20 feet, okay, because we've come this far. These walkways look all intact and safe, okay. I'm a little sketched out here, okay. So here's where the rebar ends, okay, so it joins the next section of concrete. So look at this, and for safety's sake, look how high this railing is. And this, you could never, I mean, you could barely put your hand through it, and that's about it. But they've done all this work, and for now it just dead ends here at the end of the bridge. So like I say, you know, the long-term plans are, you know, it's gonna be on just this section of finishing up this last little bit of bridge onto the, maybe, I don't know who they contract this out to come and rip up all these old rails, but there's that whole Y, this way, that way. A lot of hardware here needs to come out, and then continue on. Yeah, that switch begins right there. You can see the ends of the switch right here, and then there's the box to throw the lever to make it change directions. And here's a cool old railroad light. Okay, old signals. That's kind of stuff that be nice in man caves and stuff. Well, I see, it looks like it's only been held on with 4 bolts. Nah, probably shouldn't have showed that. Don't anybody get any ideas, okay? That is theft. There's a little ladder right there. Yeah, no thanks. What do you do from there? I don't know. In a platform, what do you do up there? I don't know. There's some guys down there fishing. In the where's my finger on the screen? I can't even, wish this camera had zoom. Up the so that's the Allegheny River running down through here. All right, that there is Allegheny Lock and Dam number 5, and then this is the Kiski that comes out here. Yeah, maybe I should have parked and rode from the other end, and we could maybe have a better vantage point of some of this. No, I think we did the right thing. I'm glad I've seen that foundation back there. I see some old tires down the river. And there's the water clear. I don't see any big monster fish. That's pretty far down. Yeah, a lot of docks and boats all the way up there. Bunch of camps over there. Oh, there's a section of old, they put a post there, and the cross things to put the insulators on to run wire. And, probably both electric and telephone. That's long been replaced with probably a better system around here somewhere, but that hasn't been used in a long time. Pretty peaceful out here. Yeah, guys fishing out there, kind of right at the mouth of the river, right where the Kiski and the Allegheny meet. Little island out there. Yeah, I don't see. Yep, more tires. Well, we did it. I've been wanting to do. Look at the big. I didn't notice that. Look at the big home up there. Oh, there's a view, huh? Pretty nice house too. So, all right. So now what? Are we mission accomplished? Oh, end of KJRR yard limits. Oh, that's Kiski Junction Railroad is what that stands for. There was a up there, and now it's been torn out. It's gone. I don't think they had a lot of business, but it was a little touristy thing. They had a short run that just went up the Kiski a little bit, and I think I'd come across here for a while. I think I've actually seen a picture of their little train over on the big bridge. So, but it's pretty localized. It's I think they had a Santa Claus and a Halloween themed train ride in the fall and winter that went up there. I think it's up there like 2 or 3 miles and back. So, like I say, it wasn't a very extensive service. All right, we ready to get out of here? Yeah, it'd been nice if they just finished this last little bit, and if they just would have went a little further over here. And it was so close to joining this all up. So close. Right? I mean, we made it this far to the bike. The bike's right there, and the trail is right here. But if they just done this little bit here, it'd be a go. Well, I think our mission's accomplished. I don't think I've been going for a bit more than a half an hour, really. You know what would be really useful for doing this sort of thing, like when I need to leave Bella behind? I wish I had an app. Oh, I know they make them. They make a device where I could monitor the temperature inside the van while I'm gone. I think it requires a subscription because it's an online thing. It's got to connect to the internet, you know, and come to my phone. And but you know, it's not too much. That might not be a bad idea. But the other thing that'd be useful too is possibly more useful. But in determining how much longer I can be gone. That's fine if it's, you know, 75 degrees or 70 or 65. That's nice, I can monitor that, but where are the batteries at? Is the batteries about dead, ready to die any minute? You know, I might check on the phone and say, okay, it's comfortable, we're good. Meanwhile, I don't know where the batteries are at. It could die like that moment, and it's going to take a little bit for the temperatures to start climbing. So I'd like to, it'd be nice to have the Wi-Fi thing where I know where my battery's at. If they're at a certain voltage, I can estimate, okay, we're good for, you know, another hour or still another 2 hours. Or I'd like to be able to see where my battery voltage is right now. I think that might be more useful. I think, I shouldn't say that. I think both together would just be a good tool for being away. There wasn't some raspberries growing here. They are out and about. So I know where there's another project, major project going on these rails to trail system. It's a tunnel, okay, and it has been left go for many decades. Some like this line here. Wait a minute, is it part of the same line? Where's that up? That goes up through north of here. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not. Anyway, again, it's just left go and unused for many decades, and it starts deteriorating. It has recently, you know, been funded and cleaned out, and they're redoing, you know, relining the tunnel to make it safe for public use. And I don't know what its status is, if it's complete or nearing completion. But I know the entrance, probably both entrances, they're, you know, it's night and day, the before and after photos of where it was, how bad it got before they started the project, and now that at least the entrances and, you know, most of the work, like I said, I think it's on the tail end. If it's not complete, it's got to be near completion. So that would be really something to see and actually to go through it. So I really like to go out and do that soon. One thing I wanted to mention too is like this rail to trail system. I think initially it started out by, you know what, where old railroads went through various towns, whether it's small towns or large or cities, that just, if it's unused, I don't know whose idea it was to say, that's a nice unused stretch of land. How great that would be to put a walking trail and biking trail for just the community to exercise and get out and get some fresh air on. Whoever's idea came up with that idea, I mean, what a fantastic idea. But instead of it just getting overgrown and, you know, it's unused, there's no longer a need for it, just, you know, to maintain it and do these. And it's no wonder the organizations that fund this do. It's like this huge extensive national park sort of thing, you know. It's really a great idea and system. And I think it originally started out like different communities were kind of doing it. I don't know who came up with the bigger idea of making it connecting all the in-between sections and making it this big continuous trail. This section, I believe it's this section, is part of a much bigger picture of I think they want to make a continuous trail for all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Erie, Pennsylvania. That's like 130 miles by car on the interstate. So you get, taking into account all the around the curves of the rivers and around mountains and through some of them, whatever, it's probably more like 160, 170 miles. It wouldn't surprise me. But what a fantastic idea is to make this continuous trail. E-bikes, could you do it? How long will it take to ride that far? E-bikes range from probably a 40-mile range to, I think I've seen them up to 70 or 80 miles. So if you did it on e-bike and you pick some camp spots, some overnight places, you could ride for a couple hours one day, camp, ride for a couple hours the next day, camp. So it would take obviously a handful of recharges for the next day, but or on a regular bicycle, mountain bike or a road bike, however you choose to do it, or walk it and hike it. Up here on the it's part of the old Baker Trail that goes through these parts there too. It's an extensive, it's not the what's the big one that goes through the Appalachians, the Appalachian Trail. It's similar to that. It's a pretty extensive trail, so a lot of that kind of stuff in the area. Great nature hikes and bikes and things to see and do. We should probably try to get out and do more of it, right? Hint hint. Get off my butt and get out more. And Bella. So anyway, speaking of Bella, I probably rambled on long enough. We should probably get heading back, right? Well, our power is still on. We still got all bars, so we've barely taken anything out of the battery. We came out, we were just over there by the bridge and everything. We came back out here to get down around like we came and get back on the main trail. But I came across here. I don't know how much more to add here or not. I thought I'd come up here just a little bit. I'm gonna ride up there, and if there's anything really worth seeing or talking about, I'll turn the camera back on and I'll include that. But I think that goes up, I don't know, I think it goes all the way up to Leechburg, Pennsylvania. So I'm gonna take a little ride off camera, turn it back on if we see anything. Well, there is evidence right here that there was a little more going on here than just these rails we've been seeing. Like I said, there were other buildings and stations and whatever business used to go on in here back in the day. But this other, I knew there was the rail yard way over there where we were, but there's another set of rails there that came through. I don't know, pretty wooded in there now. And this road looks like it just goes way down and down through here. So I don't know how far I'm gonna go back here. This is kind of weird. You have this beautifully paved road, and I do not, it's just not part of the rails to trail system. I mean, this is still paved and in good condition from way back in the day. After talking to my buddy, he says, yeah, they used to come back in here. I think somewhere there's this really long straight section they used to drag race. So, oh, this might be it right here. I can see, look how overgrown this is. Wow. Ooh, almost hit a dragonfly. Oh, I got a duck. Yeah, some of these branches are so low, you only got a duck through them. But just kind of, it's just kind of weird that there's a, yeah, this is a pretty nice surface. A nice blacktop road going through here. I don't know. I need to do some mapping and see where this comes out at. Maybe we'll do this another day, explore and continue up along the Kiskiminetas River and through a couple of towns, and yeah, maybe this will be the beginning of a new video. I don't know. Oh man, this goes on. I can see that's gonna be hard to see with this camera without the zoom, but man, this just goes on and on. Wow, they got to turn around here, and all of a sudden, oh, here's this big blacktop area. I don't know what this was. Some kind of big parking lot, And then it heads down that way. When the blacktop ends, it turns into dirt. And it's dirt road. So, but there's a big pile of old railroad tracks, old rails, railroad rails. Huh. Yeah, and part of them are definitely part of the switch, an old railroad switch, regular standard price size rails. And this big flat area. What the? Yeah, I wonder what was here. Oh, I can see the Kiski out there. I can see way down through the woods. I can see the Kiski River, that is. I can see a houseboat and a dock way down there. So looks like this drops down off, down low, goes out a ways, and then down to the river. Huh. Yeah, this is all so that's blacktop, but back in here it's all concrete. Wonder what this used to be. Huh. Pretty green, isn't it? All right, looks like a little bit of wildlife activity is going on here. Maybe some deer, maybe laying here, or a bear, and a black bear around. So, all right, let's get back to the van and back to Bella. Let's head back. Well, I hope those last clips recorded of us checking out this like parking area way up here with the rails and down over the Kiski where the houseboat are. I think that was the last clip I recorded. I don't know if the battery died during that or not, but I was in a panic. I thought, I knew it was getting low. I thought, I know I brought an extra GoPro battery, and I'm looking in my little pack thing there, and I'm like, I can't find it anywhere. Here it is in one of my pockets. but I'm like looking frantically like, oh no, I guess this is where the video ends. But till we get back to the van, I can get plugged back in again. But I thought, I don't want to lose a GoPro battery. All right, so we do need to get back to Bella, and I'm getting warm. It's starting to warm up pretty good. So I'm sure I'd like to be in the same comfort Bella is. How's that? I'd like to get back to the van and get in some air conditioning. Yeah, there are sections through here. You can tell it's definitely 2 lanes. There's 2 lanes here, and then here's the seam in the middle, and then, well, it's more overgrown here. But that little section we just passed was, you can tell this is definitely a 2-lane road. But yeah, it's been reduced down to 1 just because of the overgrowth. I would imagine just the railroad, uses this. I don't know, there's railroad, even though there's not, how should I say that? Even though there's not active rail lines here, there are still different points that need maintenance and service and access to it. And just because there's not an active line, say like over in there, there is the railroad owns a lot of, at least the right-of-way. Yeah, the railroad has a lot of right-of-ways. So they may need to just be able to kind of drive around and check out their property, they're responsible for and not responsible for. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, this would be an awesome converted to a rail trail. It just needs trimmed, right? This is awesome. I'm gonna do a little bit of research on the upper end. This goes up to, I think the next town is Leechburg, Pennsylvania. I wonder if there's any recent activity up there. Oh, I know they put in a new, like a canoe kayak launch. I wonder if they're going to connect this too. I mean, it's like already done. Just send a crew out here with a couple lawn mowers and weed trimmers. I mean, it's here. So that would be awesome. It's well shaded too. So yeah, that'd be lovely. That'd be a lovely thing. All right. Try doing that one-handed. With only one hand on the handlebar, holding the camera with the other. Easy, easy. I should put my phone away before it pops out of this holder. Right? I don't even need it being up here. Yeah, and you will find, like I say, this area was, you know, heavily coal mined in the last century, early last century. So there's a lot of old mining things in all these hills, and you know, concrete things for the you know, different structures and the coal tipples and hoppers and just everything that went on there. A lot of concrete structures in it. I really am fascinated by that foundation over there. That had to have been, man, I'd like to look. I need to snoop around the internet a little bit and see if I can find a picture of the, maybe a better picture of that Junction, the railroad station, the depot, you know, the passenger depot. All right, let's get going. Well, we're back and loaded up. I know I had the air conditioner probably set just right, because I opened up the door and put my little bag away and instantly felt how nice and cool it is in there, and the compressor wasn't even running, and I was only here like a minute, and like that would have been the warmest it would have got, because just a second later the compressor kicked on, and I mean, I only had the door open a second, threw my satchel in, you know, that wasn't enough to make, right? It kicked back on, so it's been staying plenty comfortable in there. And I just threw my bag in there. Bella, you need to come outside? Huh? Come on, outside. Come on. I've been gone so long. So, all right. Yeah, she's good. She didn't even need her water. I wasn't gone all that long. So that was a great ride. You know, that's kind of stuff. I just love doing that, and I just don't know why I don't do it more. So I'm gonna make it a point to do that. Got the e-bike, makes it easy, nice cruising, a little bit of pedaling for some exercise, but then you know, take a break and just kind of cruise, and maybe a little more. It's a nice mix of it, some exercise. You're not gonna turn it off and get a whole lot of exercise, but it's just a nice way to travel and go see some of these things. Then again, I don't know what we're gonna do next, the other part of this trail, or on up to check out that other project, that tunnel. That's probably several $1 million for that tunnel job. I'd really like to go up and see that, so I don't know what we're doing next. But anyway, I had fun today. I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of the Rails to Trail system here in my area. Again, thanks for coming along. We'll be back soon. I'll see you next time.